Now for us to return to our top story as the country prepares to commemorate National Human Rights Day, and the official commemoration and celebration will be down in King Williamstown, where the legacy of Steve Biko will be remembered. Palesa is there. She is getting ready for the celebrations and the commemoration that's going to be taking place later. She's going to be chatting to a family member of Steve Biko to chat about Biko's role in the black struggle fighting for human rights. Palesa, it's over to you.
Valen, thank you so much once again. Like Valen said, we're still coming to you live from Victoria Stadium in King Williamstown in the Eastern Cape province for the observation of Human Rights Day. That's where we are here. Like I said earlier on, that we're expecting President Jacob Zuma to be in this place to deliver his keynote address. But like Valen said, we are bringing a new perspective into this human rights issue, because I have with me here the two graduates from a movement called Hire a Graduate Movement. So they actually advocating for graduates to be hired into the government as well as the public sector. They'll just introduce themselves, tell us what they studied, and from there on we'll take it from there. Good morning to you. Tell us who you are, what you studied, and what are you studying currently?
Thank you very much, Palesa. I am Sipaman Lakashe. I'm residing in Alice. I studied Bachelor of Administration in Public Sector, and I also did postgraduate certificate in education. Currently busy with my research for Honours in Political Science.
All right, and then let's hear from you, your name and what you're studying.
Thank you very much, Palesa. I'm Wandisile Sikhoto. I'm from Alice. I've studied there at University of Fort Hare, and I did my degree in Agricultural Extension and further studies to do a master's in agricultural extension.
Oh, so you're studying towards your master's degree now?
Yes, it's my final year master's.
All right, now Spamandla, tell us this movement, Hire a Graduate Movement. How did it come about, and what is it looking into?
Okay, thank you very much. The movement basically is more concerned with the high rate of unemployment that is taking place currently as a national crisis. However, we saw that the issue of unemployment looks generally in youth unemployment. So we had to differentiate ourselves from youth in general as to graduates, because we believe we have a very specific role to play in the society. So now the Higher Graduate Movement came into place, and as a result of that, trying to advocate for unemployed graduates in the country.
Yeah. But you rightfully said this is a national crisis. It's not just about those who have graduated and those with qualifications. How do you think you differ on the market from the rest of the unemployed youth?
The youth are not just unemployed people. They are a stratum in transit, deliberately created to fill a space in the society. When you speak about graduate, you're talking about people who are capacitated with skills and knowledge, who are there to contribute to the development and growth of the economy.
But if you don't have those skills and knowledge, why don't you create jobs yourselves? Because the government has always been saying that there are no jobs. Shouldn't you be standing up and saying, look, because there are no jobs in the market, let us just stand up and do something about it?
The reality is that you can't just wake up and do something. There has to be inputs that will make sure that you are able to come up with something. If you're going to start agriculture, there's land that is needed. For an example, there's a person who teaches agriculture. There's money to start that business. So it's not a matter of just waking up and saying that you want to start this thing. But it means that there must be efforts also from government to say that in as much as we are willing, and then there's a support that we get. But from where we stand, there is not support towards assisting graduates. The whole issue has been clustered under one umbrella, which is unemployed youth, whether you have skills or you don't have skills.
Yeah, but Spamandla, what do you have to offer? To someone who's watching Morning Live from home, what do you have to offer? Do you think the skills and the knowledge that you have acquired in tertiary are needed? Is there a market for your skill?
Thank you very much. Because of job scarcity, I had to do postgraduate certificate in education, seeing that people who did education are being employed on a daily basis. However, I can also be available for public administration in the public sector.
But my question is there a market for public administrators now?
There is, Palesa, because you'd find out that there are people who are interns, and their internship contracts are being renewed yearly, and this movement is against that for the extension of internships, because if the government or any private sector keeps on extending the internship programs, it means that there is a need for that particular service in that specific sector. So yes, there is a market for the public administration.
The reason I'm asking that coming to you is because I remember back in our days when we were in tertiary, you know, there was always a say that there is a market for engineers, and but your human sciences courses, they were not necessarily, you know, regarded as the essential skills. So do you believe there is a market as well for what you studied towards?
The reality that we cannot escape is that when it comes to agriculture, agriculture is the base of the economy and the one that is contributing to GDP. Meaning that if you studied agriculture, it's one of the scarce skills. Now it therefore means that automatically it falls under that category that is in demand. But the sad reality is that there are a lot of youth who are graduates who are unemployed in South Africa. As a result, there was a march that we advocated as higher graduate movement to the office of the Premier of the Eastern Cape, where we submitted our memorandum of demands, also with the proposals that we have in terms of making sure that we mitigate the issue
quickly
of
talk to us about
unemployment.
those proposals and the demands in the memorandum.
The demand that was there was the issue of nepotism that is there and has filled the ranks
That
of
is
the
where?
government of the government
In the
offices.
provincial government?
In the provincial government.
What do you mean by nepotism?
Nepotism is the issue that, but let's say I'm coming from this poor family, which is Spoto, which is the surname that is not well known. I come to that office because I'm not known. It becomes a disadvantage for me, and then the person who's familiar or they are familiar with their surname is being taken first into consideration, and we end up being suppressed and suffocated.
And those are
not being
serious
able to
allegations,
express
you
ourselves.
agree, ne?
Yes, it's something that we have already presented to the Premier, and we also looked into that. And the reality is that they do agree that there are some cases that they have dealt with even before. So we are saying that to mitigate the issue of unemployment, we're proposing a graduate hub. A graduate hub of services is whereby these unemployed graduates can be given a space to be able to exercise their skills and contribute to the development of the province. Like we have Kucha, like we have other companies that deal with steel, that deal with handworks and woodwork, but that does not necessarily deal, they don't necessarily deal with graduates who are capacitated with the skills. So we need an area whereby you can be able to exercise these skills, not a place whereby it only advocates for people who need skills.
So has the Premier's office responded to your demands?
We've had a consultative session. However, the due date that we're expecting the Premier to respond to us is tomorrow, the 22nd. However, we believe there's going to be delays because there's going to be a second session of a consultative session.
So what were you talking about on the consultative sessions?
They wanted clarity on the points that we pointed out on our memorandum because they were confused. We had a strategy there, which is one graduate, one farmer, and they thought it's one graduate, one farm. So we had to clarify those issues that were there. Yes.
But now, going forward, you were telling me earlier on that this movement was launched here in the Eastern Cape. Are you perhaps looking at expanding it to the rest of South Africa, maybe?
Yes, that is the reality, because in as much as it started in Eastern Cape, but the problem that you're advocating for is a national problem. So we have engaged with Gauteng, we've engaged with KZN, and we've engaged with other provinces who share the same sentiments as it relates to the issue. So Kaya Graduate is gradually moving to a national scale whereby you're going to involve everyone into that aspect.
All right, no, we'll leave it at that this morning. Thank you so much, Ngosi.
Thank you so much.
Siyabulela. There you have it. Some of the students from Higher Graduate Movement talking to us about the challenges that are facing young people, of course, with unemployment being a national crisis. Like they said, we're sitting at over 27% of people who are unemployed in South Africa. So they're coming up with all these suggestions to the Premier's office. But I believe we'll wait and see what the Premier's office has to say with regard to your demands. Let me quickly hand you back to the studio. When you come back to us, we'll be speaking to Nkosinati Biko, the son to Steve Biko. Stay tuned for that one.